Step 1 is the setup. We first need to take our stance about hip width apart. In most cases, we want a straight foot. In some cases, and if it feels better, we can turn the toes out slightly. That is not a problem at all. We then need to ensure that the bar is placed over midfoot. If you're wearing shoes, place the bar over where you tie your shoes. This is typically over midfoot. If you are lifting in bare feet, just ensure the bar is placed over midfoot. It is a common mistake that we set up too far away from the bar or the bar over the front of the foot. This typically results in the hips shooting up and the shoulders shooting forward as we go to pull the bar, putting us in a really disadvantaged position. So it is crucial that we start with that bar in the sweet spot, keeping it pinned to the body throughout the whole lift. We then set our grip just outside of the legs. We can use either a double over grip, which is typically for a beginner and has its limitations, or we can use an over under grip, which is going to be a far stronger grip. Once we take our grip, we want long locked out arms. We don't want any flexion of the elbow as it puts that bicep at risk, and it will likely pull our torso forward and down, putting us in a disadvantaged starting position. We then bring our shins to the bar. If we place that bar over midfoot, as the shins come in contact with the bar, our hips will most likely be in the sweet spot. I would like to say this will work perfectly for everyone, every time, but it simply won't. We're all put together differently. And in particular, the length of our femur and torso will be a big determining factor of where our hips sit when we set up for the deadlift. So working closely with an experienced coach to ensure that you're optimizing your own individual starting position is crucial. Step number 2 is bracing. And the aim of the game here is to get a large volume of air in, directing it down into the diaphragm and bracing. A common analogy used for bracing is referring to your trunk as a soda can. An empty can will crush under weight as opposed to a full, compact, sealed can which will withstand a ton of weight. So fill that torso up with a generous amount of air and brace 360 degrees around, creating as much intra-abdominal pressure, stability and rigidity as possible. Pairing setting the lats with your breathe and brace works beautifully. In order to set our lats optimally, we want depression of the scapula. And the best cues that I've found over the years for this is either put your lats down into your back pockets or bend the bar over your shins. These typically result in that depression of the scapula and set our shoulder in the sweet spot. A common mistake people make is retracting the scapula during the setup. This is going to hinder your deadlift. We want to aim for that depression of the scapula. From there, we take any slack out of the bar so the bar doesn't take the slack out of us prior to commencing the next step. Step 3 is the push, pull and lockout. In order to achieve a truly powerhouse deadlift, we can't just pull the bar. We must also incorporate a push. As we are pulling the bar up and back, we are simultaneously driving those legs, pushing that earth away, trying to create as much force through that lower body as possible. This will result in an explosive lockout, driving those hips through hard, finishing with that shoulder behind the bar and a strong lockout at the knees and the hips. Some common mistakes during this step are excessive rounding of the upper and or lower back, resulting in loss of stability and rigidity. This will often lead to further form breakdown and even injury. Another common mistake and an easy one to fix is overextending at lockout. It is simply not necessary and in some cases can also cause injury. And last but certainly not least, reset and repeat.